ARMY is shocked. Taehyung reveals unexpected moments from the Arirang concert in a Rolling Stone interview. Hello ARMY. Welcome back to the K-pop chemistry channel. This time I want you to slow down. Leave every distraction behind and go deeper, further than before. Because this story is not just about a concert, not just about a grand stage. It's about the small moments that quietly changed everything. The Rolling Stone interview went on longer than people expected. Every question was not answered in a hurry. Taehyung chose his words carefully, as if every sentence held a memory he wanted to protect. When the conversation returned to the Arirang concert, he didn't answer right away. He took a slow breath and glanced to the side for a moment, as if he was returning to that night, and then he began to speak again. He said that there was one part of the concert that always made him smile whenever he remembered it. That moment was not when the spotlight was on him, nor when the camera captured a close-up, but when the stage lights dimmed slightly and the purple glow of ARMY's light sticks became the only light filling the stadium. In that moment, he said softly, I felt like I was in an ocean, but not of water, of light. And for a few seconds he just stood there, barely moving, just watching tens of thousands of lights slowly swaying, following the rhythm like waves. He smiled again while telling this and said that moment always made him feel calm. Not excitement, not explosive energy, but a quiet peace. Something rare on such a massive stage. Then he continued, saying that after that moment, there was a part where he and the other members walked closer to the edge of the stage, closer to ARMY, and that's where the small things began to happen. He saw a banner held by a fan with slightly messy handwriting, but full of effort. He saw someone crying while still singing along. He saw a group of friends holding on to each other, jumping together as if the world belonged only to them that night. And Taehyung said, I try to remember as many faces as I can, because to him it wasn't just a crowd. They were individuals, each with their own story. He even admitted that sometimes he creates little stories in his mind about who they are, where they came from, and what they were feeling at that moment, and somehow it made him feel even more connected. The interviewer then asked, was there a moment that made him laugh so naturally that he couldn't hold it back? Taehyung immediately chuckled as if he already knew which moment it was. He talked about one incident that wasn't clearly captured on camera, when one of the members, clearly Jungkook, suddenly changed the choreography and tried to pull him into it. At first, Taehyung tried to stay serious to follow the original moves, but Jungkook kept teasing him with playful expressions and exaggerated gestures. And eventually, Taehyung couldn't hold it in anymore. In the middle of the song, in front of tens of thousands of people, he laughed. A real genuine laugh. The kind of laugh that doesn't ask for permission. The kind that escapes naturally. Soft at first, then brighter until it reached everyone watching. That wasn't planned, he said. But that's what made it real. And ARMY, that moment might have looked like a simple joke. But for Tae it was a reminder that even in the middle of pressure, under the weight of expectations, and with thousands of eyes watching every move, he could still enjoy himself. He could still be himself, even if just for a second. And that second was enough to make everything feel lighter. He also shared another moment, simpler, quieter, but deeply meaningful, near the end of the concert. When most of the songs had been performed, and the energy slowly shifted from explosive to something softer and more emotional, he walked slowly across the stage without saying much, just listening to ARMY's voices, the cheers, the chants, and the echoes of thousands of hearts beating in the same rhythm. And in that moment he heard one voice. Not too loud, not too clear, but somehow strong enough to reach him. Someone shouted, Taehyung, thank you. And somehow it found its way through the noise, through the distance, and through everything to reach him among thousands of voices. That one sentence felt incredibly close, as if for just a brief second the entire stadium faded and it was just him and that voice. He paused for a moment, looked toward where the voice came from, even though he couldn't see the person, even though it was impossible to find them, and gently nodded as his answer. It was a small gesture, almost unnoticeable, but filled with sincerity. I wanted to say thank you too, he said in the interview, but maybe I can't say it to everyone directly. And maybe that's why moments like that feel even more special. That sentence lingered in the air, quiet but full of meaning. Then he added that the happiest moments were not just one, but a collection of all those small things. Unplanned laughter, shared singing, brief eye contact, simple messages carried by the crowd, little fragments that might seem insignificant on their own, but when they come together, they create something unforgettable. He said, "I think the happiness in that concert wasn't because everything was perfect, but because everything felt alive. Alive in the way people reacted, in the way emotions flowed freely, and in the way nothing needed to be forced." And maybe that is the heart of it all. The Arirang concert was not just a performance, not just choreography, not just vocals, and not just a show prepared for the stage, but an experience, something real, something shared, felt not only by ARMY, but by Taehyung himself. The interview finally came to an end. The cameras turned off. The lights dimmed slightly. The staff began to move again. The ordinary world slowly returned. But the feeling didn't disappear because the story remained. And now, ARMY, when you watch it again or even just remember that concert, you might see it differently. You'll start to notice the small laughs between songs, the accidental glances, the spontaneous movements, and the tiny pauses that weren't part of the plan. And you'll realize that behind every second, there was something real, something honest, something human. Something that couldn't be scripted no matter how big the stage was. And maybe somewhere in those moments you'll find yourself smiling without even realizing it, because you know that at that same time, under those same lights, and in that same sea of voices, Taehyung was feeling that happiness too with you. Not as an idol on a stage, but as someone sharing a moment that will quietly stay long after the music fades. See you in the next story. As the interview came to a close, Taehyung shared one final thought that seemed to encapsulate his entire journey as an artist. He spoke about the bridge between being a performer and being a person, noting that the Arirang concert felt like the moment that bridge finally disappeared. He admitted that for a long time, he felt he had to protect a certain image, but seeing the raw, unfiltered emotions of ARMY gave him the courage to be just as raw in return. It wasn't about hitting every mark perfectly anymore. It was about the shared heartbeat of the stadium, a collective breath taken by thousands of people all searching for the same sense of belonging. He also touched upon the quiet minutes in the dressing room after the final encore, when the cheers were still ringing in his ears but the room was silent. In those moments of transition, he doesn't feel the post-concert blues that many expect. Instead, he feels a profound sense of fullness. He described it as carrying the energy of every fan he made eye contact with back home with him. To Taehyung, the Arirang concert didn't end when the lights went out. It continued in the way he viewed the world the next morning, with more color, more empathy, and a deeper understanding of the impact a single smile can have on a stranger's life. Ultimately, this Rolling Stone interview serves as a beautiful reminder that the grandest spectacles are often built upon the smallest, most human foundations. Taehyung isn't just looking for applause, he's looking for connection. He's looking for those messy banners, those tear-streaked faces, and those spontaneous moments of laughter with his brothers on stage. As we move forward into the next chapter of his career, we carry these stories with us, knowing that every time we raise our light sticks, we aren't just lighting up a stadium. We are lighting up a memory that Taehyung holds close to his heart, forever grateful for the ocean of light that we've created together.